it's me again, Sheikha, and welcome to my channel. Well, for today, I want to talk to you about one of my tenants, in which I'll tell you a story and just give me your reactions with that on the description box below. If you were on my place, what would you do if you are on this kind of situation? Okay, as most of you know, I am working as a property consultant, part-time property consultant in one of the prestigious real estates here in the UAE. So right now we are a developer in a real estate and we are having some properties to rent and to sell. So there was this one villa that I rented out last month with this tenant, and actually the transaction was very smooth on the first time. The transaction ended on a smooth pace, like for the payment and everything. They gave me all the payment in one go. But then the problem started upon them submitting all the checks payment for the rent, together with the signing of the tenancy contract. Because before they signed the tenancy contract, they have read in the addendum, there was an addendum, there was a clause there in the tenancy contract, which mentioned that if ever there will be bounce check, our company will be charging a penalty fee for the bounce check. So I will not mention how much will be the penalty, but it is, it's less amount. So it's just a penalty so that you will not have bounce check. And then the tenant disagrees with that. He wants us to remove that clause on the tenancy contract, in which we cannot. I tried to explain it to them. The tenant understood. It's just that the secretary, by the way, the tenant has 3 secretaries. One Arab, second one is a lady Arab, and then the third one is an Asian. Okay? So right now we are dealing with secretary number 1, a guy. So he spoke to me on the phone telling me that I need to cancel that clause in the tenancy contract, in which I explained to him I cannot. So what he did, after trying to convince me and he wasn't able to, he tried to call my property manager, which is then sitting just right in front of me when I was having a conversations with him. And he was telling some stories like I was being rude to him and I don't want to listen to him. So then, my property manager tried to talk to him nicely and tried to explain to him what we tried to explain to him on the first place, that it cannot be removed because this is for the protection of the landlord as well. If all the tenants will be having bounce check, then what will happen to the landlords that we have, right? Our landlord is the life of our business also. And just like our tenants, which is the life of our business, we are also getting business from the landlords, which he don't understand. So that's why we invited them to come to the office together with his boss, the real tenant, so that they can understand what we are trying to explain to them. It ended up that the reason why they are scared for the clause like that is that they don't know and they are not sure which signature they use on this bank for these checks. Meaning, there is a 101% chance that the check will be bounced if we submit the check on the bank. So I suggested to them that we can go to the bank together to check the signature. If the signature fails, then he can replace the check right in front of me. And the agreement has been done, so we met in the bank the next day so that the check will be replaced, because it ended up that the signature is really different. His signature on the passport and other documents is really different from the bank signature. So I thought, upon receiving the new checks, all the problems will already end there, because we already agreed that the key will only be handed over to them at least 10 to 15 days prior to the start of their contract, in which they agreed. The contract starts on June 1. Okay. So from April 28th, we tried that the landlord came so that he will be the one in charge for the maintenance of the villa, like painting, changing all the faulty lights, like that, cleaning, and pest control as the basic maintenance for each property which is being rented out in the UAE. So I myself spent 15 days on the same property just to see that the maintenance is in perfect condition. And then 3 days before the key handover, there is this one lady with the lady secretary. So this will be secretary number 2, and another lady which she introduced as a family for the tenant, that they wanted to see the villa. So we let them in. Upon letting them in, would you imagine a newly painted wall which has been painted on the day that they came? It was painted in the morning and they came at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then this lady touches it and then she said like this, "Oh, this wall is so dirty. Can you replace it with white paint?" My God. From that, my ears already boiled. But still, I tried to stay calm and told her that the walls has been painted just in the morning, and how can she say that it is not clean? So she told me it's dirty. It looks dirty. For all of you who don't know or who don't have any idea, for each villa that we are having this cream-colored painting, interior painting for each of the villa. So that is the same paint that we use for this villa that we maintained. So I asked her, what do you think? Why do you think it's dirty? She told me that it just looks dirty. I want it to be replaced to white. So that's one point. Second point that she wanted to point it out was to replace all the toilet bowls together with the bathtubs to be replaced by a new one. My God. They paid for rent for a 3-bedroom villa with a big garden, with a big hall, 2 big halls, 2 big kitchens, with a laundry room for only 105,000 per year, in which I even gave them 1 month free on their contract. How would you expect that everything inside the villa, which is not even broken, which is even cleaned, as in cleaned, would be replaced by the landlord? What would be the money left with the landlord if that would be the case? So I told her we cannot do that. The maintenance team is only in charge for the basic maintenance like the AC, the painting, the lights, and the pest control. So I thought it will end there. After the maintenance, we need to hand over the key normally. So what I did, I called the real tenant, their boss, the boss of these 2 secretaries. I called him to meet me in the villa together with the landlord so that they can see whichever else needs to be replaced or whatever needs to be done. Then they can hand it over, and then I can hand over the key so that my job will be done as well. The tenant came, inspected the villa, checked everything, received the key, signed the key handovers, and everything was smoothly done. But then the landlord's car did not start at the time. So the tenant suggested that we can leave the car there till we call the mechanics for the car. So the tenant then handed over to me 1 key for the small gate so that I will be able to open the car gate whenever we are going to take the car. He said, take your time, just find the mechanic and then take the car from there. So from there, I dropped the landlord. I picked up the landlord from there and then I dropped him home. Then the next day, at 9 a.m. sharp, I received a call from this crazy secretary asking me, where did I leave the key? Well, for all of you who don't understand yet, in this season, from start of May, on May 5, it started on May 5, it is Ramadan. So it is hard for us to find somebody who will work in the morning. Most of them, they are starting work at night. So I tried to explain it to her. So then she told me that I need to open the gate for their people who will be working there. I said it's not part of my job anymore to do that because I am working at least 45 minutes away from the villa. 45 minutes drive away from the villa. So I told them that I only have a spare key. You have all the keys. You can open it for them. And they don't want to agree with that. They wanted me to open. So I tried to explain that I'm a property consultant, not a security, not a watchman. So I will not open it. And then I did not open the villa. If you are in my case, please comment down below what you will do if they tell you this thing. And then after that, after doing all that, after receiving all the keys, we took the car from their garage. We leave the key on the place where the tenant would want me to leave the key. I thought everything will be smooth already. Everything will be fine. And then it comes back to the interior of the villa. You see, there was this sliding door which connects the first majlis to the dining room, in which it can be accessible from the family room as well. The dining room can be accessible from the family room. The majlis can be accessible from the family room as well. So this door is basically just like a wall, a sliding wall, which can be opened and closed. Okay. So that door is faulty, which has been explained to them even before they started renting the villa, even before we started signing all the contracts and receiving all the checks. It has been explained that it has to be repaired, and the repair should be done by the developer themselves, the developer of the villa themselves. The landlord already then mentioned to them that this door will be repaired only by after Eid, because that is the schedule that he got from the developers. So the tenant himself agreed on that. And yet, these secretaries doesn't want to agree. They wanted that door to be repaired before their boss will be transferred to the villa by June 1st. So I said it's impossible because the tenant will need to take the approval from the developer before it has to be repaired. And yet, you know what happens next? They then sent a message to the landlord, requesting him if they can meet him and then they can take the key for this door from him on the same night yesterday, which was 8 p.m. They scheduled to meet the landlord at 8 p.m. The landlord was there, sharp, 8 p.m. He sends a message that he's already there. They let him wait without any information, without any calls, without any message that they are not coming. He waited there until 10 o'clock. Nobody came. How professional, isn't it? Then today morning, this crazy secretary has the guts to call my office to complain about me. Imagine that. They were the one who scheduled with the landlord. They were the one who stood up the landlord. Then they are complaining about me. So what our secretary did was to transfer the call to me, because this property is not being managed by our company. So it means my job ends upon key handover. So I am not in charge of any maintenance. I am not in charge of anything with regards to this villa, because my job ends upon key handover. So when she learns that she is being transferred to me, she's hanging up the phone. She called twice, 2 times with our receptionist. She is looking for the manager. The receptionist is transferring her to me. And yet, whenever she hears my voice, she's hanging up the phone. Professional, isn't she? Very good. Very good. So then she asked, the third time she called, she asked from our receptionist the email address of our property management team. So the receptionist gave it to her. She emailed, and she was threatening to hold the check, the next check which will be paid, which should be paid by on September, to hold it if we don't repair the door, if the kitchen cabinet, which has been replaced already. There is some scratches on the kitchen cabinet, small scratches, which she wanted to replace. If the chandelier will not be done, the chandelier was supposed to be installed last night, but then they stood up the landlord. They are threatening to put the case to the land department. My friends knows me. I'm sorry. But when my head boils into anger, I will not control anything that I will say. So when she sent that email to my property management team, they forwarded it to me. When I read it, instantly my head boils to 101% level. So, I replied to them. I replied that you were the one who stood up the landlord. How come you are complaining about it now? They wanted everything to be on their side. They wanted everything. They are threatening that they will hold the check. I told them, you can hold it all you want, but let me see who will be having some problem. So friends, please let me know if this happens to you. What would you do? If you are on this situation, what would you say to this kind of secretaries? Okay, till then, I will be seeing you again next week. Every Wednesday, I will be uploading stories with Sheikah so that we can see each other and we can discuss. Bye!